Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss my 2-month postpartum and baby update. I want to first start off with my weight gain and weight loss. Prior to my pregnancy, I weighed about 113 pounds, and at the end of my pregnancy I weighed around 133 and 134, so I gained a total of about 20 to 21 pounds. About 2 weeks after I gave birth, I was probably back to my pregnancy body. I weighed around 114, 115, so I felt pretty comfortable. I just had a little bit more fat in my body instead of the muscle that I had before, but I'm still working on it. I've realized that my core is not strong at all. I have no strength at all because I couldn't do abs during my pregnancy because it strains that area where the baby is, so I had to take it easy with that. So I'm trying to build up my strength again. Other than that, everything's been going pretty smoothly. I am blessed with a pretty quiet baby. She doesn't scream a whole lot or cry, but I would say that she's had a couple leaps, they say, where the baby's moods kind of change due to their surroundings and stuff like that. But the first week was probably the hardest. Right when we got back from the hospital, Jericho, my boyfriend, he had to go back to work right away, so he was working like long hours during that week. So I was home for the most part by myself with the baby. And it really got to me, I think, because we live across the country from our actual family, so I was alone for the most part. And that's when Laila really started to develop like temper tantrums, I guess you could say. And she was screaming a whole lot, and I really didn't know what to do as a new mom, so I found myself crying at times. So I guess I had a little bit of the baby blues, but I don't know if it was because like I was depressed or anything like that. I thought it was more because I felt alone, and I felt like I wasn't doing that good of a job with Laila. So, you know, that was a concern of mine. I was afraid that I was developing some sort of depression, but I don't want to get too much into that because I do have a blog post that discusses all about my postpartum depression and my baby blues that I went through, and I'm going to leave that a link in the description box below, so you can feel free to check that out. I talk about that, and I'm going to talk about my fitness journey, so feel free to check that out. Next, I want to talk about my recovery. After labor, I didn't really have that much to recover. I didn't have any tearing or any wounds that needed to be healed, so everything went smoothly for the most part. But around 8 to 9 days after I gave birth, I started feeling a lot of pain in my abdomen, and I know it's normal to experience some cramping and stuff like that, and also around that point my bleeding decreased a lot. I was almost done completely, so I thought it was weird that I started bleeding a lot more, like around day 8, day 9, and I also got a lot of pain in my abdomen and my pelvis. And then Jericho came home from work and he found me crying, and it takes a lot to make me cry, so he suggested to go to the hospital, and I didn't really want to bring Laila to the hospital, but we ended up doing so because I couldn't move or even sit up or even pick Laila up. I didn't know what was wrong. So we ended up going to the hospital, and the doctor, you know, he gave me an IV and filled my body with fluids because I was dehydrated, and I started feeling better, and he gave me some medicine to help with my cramping because he suggested that it was cramping, and I told him that it didn't really feel like that. I felt more in my stomach instead of my pelvis, but he was sure on the fact that it was cramping, so I listened to him. I took the medicine, and I went home, and I went to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I still had the pain. So then the next morning I made an appointment with my OB because I didn't really want to go back to the hospital. I went to see her, and she was really concerned. She did a whole bunch of tests. She had no idea what it was. Obviously, the medicine didn't help that the doctor gave me at the hospital. So she suggested, you know what, most pregnant women, they develop gas, and they also develop it after they give birth. So maybe this is a case of gas, but she's like, Sarah, this seems a little bit severe, but I recommend going to the store, getting a gas X and taking it and seeing if it gets better. And I've also heard that most pregnant women have gas because I experienced that, and I've also heard that postpartum, the gas pains can be really painful. So I didn't know if it was that or not, but it turns out she was right. I took the gas X and it took my pain away completely, and I was thrilled because we had no idea if it was hemorrhaging or anything like that. That could have been a cause of something that happened during labor, so I was just really fortunate that it wasn't anything serious. Now I want to talk about stretch marks. I know a lot of women are afraid to get stretch marks during their pregnancy and also postpartum. I want to say that I had stretch marks before I got pregnant, and it's not anything to feel bad about. I'm 20 years old, and I know some women who are in their 30s and they have babies, they get really insecure that they develop stretch marks, and it's not anything at all to feel bad about, like I said. When I got stretch marks before, I think that might have helped me when I got them postpartum. I didn't notice any stretch marks during my pregnancy, and I think it's because my skin's dark and my stomach was stretched, so I didn't really notice anything else, and I had stretch marks on my hips, and they already faded. So after I gave birth to Layla, I looked in the mirror, and I saw a couple stretch marks around my belly button, but like I said, they weren't there when I was pregnant, because I didn't really see them because my belly was stretched. So when my belly went back down to being small, I did get stretch marks during my pregnancy. So I'm treating that with coconut oil. I used to treat my stretch marks with stretch mark creams and stuff like that, but none of it works. I don't know, I want to be honest, I'm sick of people saying stretch marks are genetic. If your mom gets stretch marks, you'll get stretch marks. Like, that's not the case at all. My mom has no stretch marks, and she's white, and she has a beautiful European skin. I have stretch marks because my skin is dry. I moisturize my body the entire pregnancy, so I developed stretch marks. I drank a lot of water. I still developed it. I think people are going to develop it no matter what, or some people won't. So it's nothing to feel bad about. I want people to know that when you do get stretch marks, or if you do, you just need to relate that to your journey as a mom. And if you do get stretch marks, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a reminder of the beautiful process that your body went through to create a beautiful human being. And also think about the fact that most women do have stretch marks, so you're not alone. I just want you all to know that. And next I want to talk about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding went pretty well for me, luckily. My mom couldn't really breastfeed, so I was a little scared going into it, but Layla latched on right away, and she's very comfortable with it. There are a few times where she would latch on and latch off through feedings, but I talked to my breastfeeding consultant, and she reassured me that that's okay, just to work on different positions to make her feel comfortable, and that's what we've been doing. Other than that, I really want to touch base on Layla and how she's been doing these past 2 months. She is growing extremely fast. Around 4 weeks, she actually rolled over from her stomach to her back on her own. And I've read and also talked to my doctors that babies don't usually do that until around 3 or 4 months. So that's amazing. I feel very proud, and I was telling everybody and sharing all the news with our friends and family, but she's very intelligent, and also she's been holding her head up on her own since 2 weeks. I don't know if that's unheard of, but she's been doing that. As far as everything else goes, we did end up having a little bit of a scare. It happened on July 12th. I know that because I document everything. And July 12th, we got back home from visiting our family up north. We went home to visit them this summer, and I was already nervous about taking her home and the traveling. It's an 18-hour drive. So when we returned home, she was extremely fussy. And I know babies cry a lot, but she's not really like that. She's really calm, but she was really fussy and screaming for hours and hours and hours. And I thought something was wrong, and she also was constipated. So I definitely thought there was something up. So I made an appointment with her pediatrician. I took her in about 2 days after we got home, and they said that she had the stomach flu, a stomach virus. So I was already devastated, and I was terrified that she was like gonna die or something, because I'm a first-time mom, and I always go to the negative. So the doctor told me to go to the store and pick up the Gerber Soothie probiotic drops to kind of help relieve the stomach tension that she was experiencing in the constipation. I don't know about other moms that have used that stuff. It's $32. I wouldn't buy it ever again. Doesn't help at all, so I'm just gonna stick to grape water, because the Gerber Soothie, that's $32, it didn't do anything. I've been using it for almost a week now, and I don't know, I think she got better on her own, but it didn't relieve anything. It's supposed to reduce crying. It didn't reduce that at all. That's just my honest opinion. If it worked for you, that's awesome. But other than that, she's feeling better now, and I'm happy. And of course, I blamed her sickness on the whole trip and my family members for not washing their hands, because I'm crazy. But other than that, everything's been going really smoothly. Also, I think the breastfeeding has helped my metabolism. I've noticed since I've given birth to Layla that my metabolism has increased a lot. When we were home this past couple weeks, I was eating a lot of sweets, and I didn't gain any weight at all. And I was still exercising, but I know that before I would have gotten bloated, and I didn't get that this time. So I definitely think the breastfeeding has helped me lose weight, but I also had a really strict diet during my pregnancy and postpartum. I ate a lot of protein and a lot of complex carbs, and I ate really healthy. So I don't want to say that all of my weight loss went towards breastfeeding. I think it had a lot to do with what I ate and how hard I trained in the gym, but I definitely agree with other women when they say breastfeeding helps your body and it's amazing and all that. So thumbs up for breastfeeding. So that's pretty much it for my 2-month postpartum and baby update. Everything went smoothly, like I said. The first week was a little bit rocky, but it's totally worth it in the end. I am going to be vlogging this weekend, and I want to upload it hopefully on Monday. I really want to upload Mondays and Fridays, but be patient with me. I do have a newborn. I'm also going to be recording a baby must-haves that I will get up sometime next week as well. So I hope you enjoyed my 2-month postpartum update, and please subscribe and check out my blog post I'm going to leave in the description box below. So thank you, and bye.